Okay, we are live. Hit it, Joe.
Good evening and welcome to the After Hours Show. My name is Joe in Norway. I'll be your cook this evening. I'm joined by Ann Lee, a retired college professor and a community member at the Daily Coast. They're a member of the National Council of Independent Scholars and is a contributor to the book, The Political Economy of Art, Making the Nation of Culture. We're also joined by Arjun from Deep into History Pod. And I guess we wish a happy birthday to the is it about that time? Greatest purveyor of violence on the face of the planet. The United States is 250 years young.
Oh, God. It's the Gemini time.
Oh, it's summertime. And I've got my fleece out. Oh, Lord. I know everybody else is sweltering around the world, 40-degree temperature. We're just barely getting over 10 or 12 out here on the West Coast. Since we're staying out here at the farm, we put in a garden, and
Nice.
it to be honest, it doesn't look much different than when we put it in 3 or 4 months ago.
Is it because of the weather, the soil? I don't know.
Well, we do have extremely sour soil. I haven't done a pH test, so that's what we have to do next time before we plant out. We fertilized, we put caulk in, but the temperatures are just been brutal, and it's been raining every day and windy. I think my wax beans have developed permanent pneumonia. They're pale as anything. the leaves are as pale as the beans typically are.
Oh, man.
But for this evening's menu, I thought a little minimalistic here on the mise en place, but I thought we'd make our first harvest of the day and go out to the garden and make a light salat. It's called pluck salad. It's like baby leaf lettuces that we can just pick here and there. Maybe some weeds here and there, and we've got some chive and coriander and dill out there. So I thought I'd make a light vinaigrette emulsion with this fancy pants Japanese black vinegar, orusu.
Yum.
It's different from, I don't have the Chinese black vinegar, is a little bit stronger. This has a mild sweetness to it. Not sure how this is going to work with olive oil, but we'll see. We'll make a vinaigrette. I've got our last expensive, overpriced, underripe, but now overripe nectarine from the south. We've got maybe some walnuts we can add to it. I've got some everything sourdough sandwich bread I can maybe make a little crouton with. We're using the tongzoom, kind of the milk bread kind of wheat paste porridge that we add to our dough so that it stays nice and springy over several days. So I've got my harvest basket. I'll take you guys out with me, and then we'll not cook it. We won't get cooking. We'll get plucking. Plucking. Salad picking.
Okay. So we'll be following you out there,
Roughage.
right?
Yeah. I'll be braving the
Okay, dokie.
elements. It's pretty brutal out there. We're getting torrential winds.
Love it, Joe. Yeah. Sorry I put so much pressure on you for mise en place, but this works.
Minimally smart. Oh, I gotta turn off my Wi-Fi. Don't lose me. How's everybody doing?
Oh, it's a
How are you guys?
busy day. Busy day.
It's been
the
a crazy
usual
week.
craziness.
Yeah, but
Sorry?
like this week, I think we're all getting so used to the crazy that it doesn't seem so crazy anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, some people are anticipating August, so whatever. We're already moving along. But they do call it the silly season, so it is a silly season. And apparently the National Park Service is ordering its employees to wear Freedom 250 or America 250. I don't know which one, buttons or pins. But some wag has referred to it as a Vichy pin. So, and I was also reminded of the Office Space movie where Flair is being demanded of Jennifer Aniston. So that's kind of what's going on now. Apparently, there's still nobody visiting the Great American State Fair site. It was closed until just 2 hours ago because of something. The heat may have caused that. Needless to say, it's been underattended. It has $25 pretzels.
Oh, yo, I have a whole menu for
Which
you
I
guys if
wrote.
you want to go through that.
Do they
Yeah,
have
I
a,
saw some of that menu. It's pretty disturbing. I mean, how expensive it is.
is there a butter cow?
I mean,
Oh, wait, so check this out. $53 for 2 bottles of water, one pretzel, which is universally regarded as stale, but edible. So we'll give them that. All right. Something called orange chicken, which is apparently like bulk. You know those bulk breaded chicken nuggets you can get?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
On top of coleslaw that is apparently unedible, like inedible. Forgive me, inedible. And a personal pepperoni pizza, which is microwaved.
There we go.
$53.
Wow.
It's just the level of grift that is going on and graft. Okay, because like recall that like $120 million were allocated to this, and the
It disappeared.
Smithsonian, yeah, was supposed to handle it. And look what they
Right.
got. Like it's just completely been stolen.
Yeah, somebody who was working on the philanthropy side of it has been putting up tweets or something, has been talking on social media about how money disappeared for the Smithsonian programs and truly disappeared. So it is just more grift and graft.
Yeah, like anyone running for office in the future who isn't talking about putting all of these people in prison is not even worth your attention for a second. Not at all.
Yep. Oh, seriously, it's just
Oh, oh
amazing to
no.
me how much grifting is going on. What happened, Joe?
Our radishes have busted their guts. You see
Oh,
the cracks on either side. So the young ones were too wet and then suddenly too dry for too long. So they developed a hard outer shell. And then once they hit their growth
ah,
spurt, when it's finally warm enough to start growing, and then they just like the Hulk, they just ripped out of their clothes. Yes,
But you
they're
can still
all like
use
that.
them, right?
Yeah, we can still. There, if you can see very well there. Oh,
I have so much respect for what you do because like growing plants is such a like it's an absolute science
Um,
because yeah,
mm,
it's so difficult to know when to pick, especially as a novice.
yes.
well, all of the leaves, a lot of the leaves are yellow because we're just it's too cold here. Oh,
Still too
here,
cold.
here. This is my my yellow squash. Starting to get a little bigger. It was half this size last week. So we finally got our finally got some heat here. We've got potatoes. These ones are the ones that our potatoes are doing fine. But these feathers, these are wax beans. They're having a rough go of it.
By any metric, this is 1,000 times better than the state fair or the
That's,
who's that? Is that your
this
cat,
is our
Joe?
Well, hello there.
this is our neighbor.
Hello there.
Hey Bella, Bella.
Hello. What a
Get those
cutie.
slugs. Take care of those slugs for me. So we do have some insurance against the extreme climate here. We've got these miniature greenhouses that we picked up.
Cool.
Too many ones with.
Nice.
See, this is what I'm talking about, Joe. This is so cool. Like, all right, I'm gonna harass you until you go online from now on.
Here's our leaf lettuce. We could just pick the outside ones, leave the inside, and they'll keep growing. We got green, red, maroon.
Joe, since you know so much about plants, what kind of algae do you think is growing in the reflecting pool? Because it's like resistant to hydrogen peroxide. It has to be something new, right?
No, we've been.
Good.
It looks a lot different from what we've been putting on our. Uh, these ones, we've got some dulse or something on our plants we've been using. When we go take a dip in the fjord, we bring back a wheelbarrow full of seaweed
Seaweed.
and chop it up.
Yeah.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh, we're brewing, fermenting, what's it called? Stinging nettles. So apparently
Ah,
it's very nutritious for some of the different plants. I can't remember which ones. We've got Lane's favorite here, coriander. Probably need to thin these out.
Sorry, Lane. I like coriander too.
Just take these should be very nice. Little hints of coriander and dill. We've got dill slowly coming in, but these will be annual. The coriander and the dill will be annuals. Quite strong taste. And ones. Christmas. Blair, oh, it's very strong. Not too much. On salad. Get me a different.
A little more light, Joe. You're
Yeah,
verging into darkness.
I think my lights are going out.
Ah,
Well, it would be totally bright here if it wasn't for these gosh darn clouds.
Again, Joe, this is so much better than being at the state toot fair or the national fair. Because I was there all week and I was watching
What?
what was happening, and it was so bad.
Embarrassing, but even more bizarre is the insistence by Trump that there were huge crowds. So much so that, it's so delusional that they
But
started producing all these pieces of graphics that seemed to produce a lot of people. And then Democrats started coming up with their own versions of it and comparing it with 2011 Obama, and so it got a little crazy.
yeah,
And then of
but
course
like the what's it called? I apropos of what you're saying, did you see like the Fox News? Like that has
oh
been
yeah.
making me laugh all week. They had that platform with that wide shot across the entire mall, thinking that would be packed full of people. And they spent the entire week trying to convince everyone that three empty fields, to be fair, are full of thousands of people. It's been so funny.
It's just insane. I mean, truly, emperor has no clothes or whatever. It so bizarre to see that. And I think MS now did a mash, a super edit of all of the Fox pans of the area to show that nobody was ever there. So, or very few people were there. So,
My
I mean,
favorite
there's
was Carolyn Levitt showed up for some
oh,
reason with her like
Jesus, with
a
their
very
kids,
young
right?
child. And yeah, and she has an infant at home and she's on break. She showed up with her like slightly, I think, I don't know, 2 or 3 year old. Um and went on Fox saying like how wonderful it was being among this crowd of like thousands of people. And the one picture that she posted, there was literally one old guy walking across the yard.
Well, there
It's like
it
this
was
is
filled
so
with
nuts.
I mean, it had other bizarreness. The guy who was arrested. I guess it comes under
Oh
the
yes, we should talk
category
about
of
this.
expression. He was masturbating to the female acrobats or whatever,
Yeah,
and
yes, he's appealed his public indecency conviction based on his freedom of speech right to express himself because technically he wasn't fondling himself openly. He put his hand in his American flag overalls.
there we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I the only people who laughed are perverts, right? Like who else can support this crap? Like consider what we've gone through. It's
Oh, jeez. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wrote some other things this week about how um, there's so much pervy stuff that the Supreme Court was dealing with. So I did a little thing on, you know, uh, the right wing has this fascination for children's genitals. And I tried to juxtapose that with Trump and the measuring, and this is from a piece of the Epstein files that was released and then pulled back about the auction nights that were at wherever it was, Mar-a-Lago, whatever, and so they would their calendar girl month or whatever, that they would bring in young girls, and Trump purportedly in this particular document, and it is documented, Snopes did a whole thing on it, is
100%. It's like it's fact. You're absolutely right.
it's absolutely that he was measuring tween vaginas for tightness. And so, all of that is just outrageous. But as I said, I juxtapose that with this kind of obsession, given that, and actually I don't disagree with the Supreme Court. It was convoluted to say that Title IX, is more about gender than it is about sex. But that's really a weirder argument that they have to have a greater conversation about. But, they punted. Essentially, they supported, somebody in West Virginia and someone in Idaho, one of whom was an 11-year-old trans shot putter. And so, you know that an entire state essentially is legislating against one individual ultimately. And so that's where the combined suits were. And as I said before, it's going to create an entire gender checking industry, where school nurses, I
Absolutely.
compared that the school nurse is protecting the school as much as the school resource officer is protecting from firearms. So it is just very weird.
The ruling party of the United States of America is like obsessed with children's genitalia. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Like that's what
it's
this
so weird.
entire argument is. And the notion that trans child athletes have any effect on anybody else's ability to compete and succeed is ludicrous because it is like I think it's like 0.015 of the entire population who
Right.
plays sports, who plays team sports.
Well,
It's a statistic, it's like a statistical anomaly. It's just
well, that
it's nuts.
it's just transport. It's misuse of an original argument that was brought forward a while back, that was at the college level, that women track athletes were angry about trans stuff, and they weren't angry because of the trans issue so much as they were worried about what effect it was going to have on it was about money. And so that
Mhm.
whole argument, because there's no money, is now been thrown onto K-12. And so it's all of it is misuse of a regulatory state. It is lawfare of the worst kind. And
Yeah. And like and it mirrors, it's worse, but it mirrors the exact same arguments that they used against gay marriage to begin with.
oh, absolutely.
It's
But
like a
that's where they want to
retread.
go next. That's where they want to go next.
Yeah, they're literally trying to get rid of birthright citizenship.
Oh, well, that's, yeah, that too.
It's pretty like
Like,
I mean like
it'll be a boon for the plumbing and medical equipment industries, I suppose. They need some kind of tool to measure the hoo-has, and then all these extra banyos they have to put in.
like
No,
yeah, I mean
there
all
will
that
be
stuff
an
is
entire thing, and then they applied it to ICE or CBP. That is, that idiot, the guy without the letter space between his name, Mark Wayne Mullen, decided to propose, because he's just an idiot,
He's
that
brilliant. What are you talking about?
immigrants need to be pregnancy checked when they come to the border. So there's an entire apparatus of, what are you going to do? Do you have special bathrooms so that women can go in there and piss on sticks? But you know, gotta, you got to worry about whether they're going to cheat at urinating on sticks. So
And
there has to be surveillance of toilets.
this is complete and utter nonsense. It's like a complete non-issue. Okay. I used to
Oh
work
yeah.
for WestJet. Um
Uh,
I was in HR, but first I had to work on the floor. Everyone in WestJet when it was, privately owned and technically owned by the workers. Um,
right.
and I did my time on the floor, like as a customer service agent, checking people in, boarding flights before I went to HR. Everyone had to do that, no matter where you went in the
Right.
company. Um, since at a minimum, I'm just going to talk, this is anecdotal, but since from my experience, since 2007, okay, any pregnant person, and I'm talking about Canada and the US, in the sense that people going to the US, okay, um, they won't let in people who are like very pregnant, like people who are about to give birth. Customs just doesn't do that. So it's a non-issue. Like even back then, they never did it. And now they're bringing it up like it's like a plague. They have nothing.
Right.
And they have
It's just yes,
absolutely nothing
absolutely.
because it's the
It's
only way to
BS. Total
distract from
BS.
this kleptocracy.
Absolutely. That's it's just bizarre that they would. Oh, and the thing is, they lack the imagination to really work through the problem. They just keep throwing crap out there because they know that the MAGAs are so stupid that they're not going to figure this stuff out.
But I think they are. I
uh,
think what the state fair reveals to us is that people are. Like, I think people are just aren't buying it anymore because Trump, in his idiocy and greed, fundamentally ruined the material conditions of his own constituency.
Oh,
Do you
we
know what I
got
mean?
two solid ones. Look at that.
Look at that. Yum. In good
We'll,
shape.
uh, we'll saute these tomorrow for stir fry.
Very nice.
Nice. You're not gonna cut the leaves off, right? You're gonna fry them
Um,
as is?
tomorrow, yeah, I'm gonna save the leaves for tomorrow, and we'll shave the whatever I can save of these. Some are
Nice.
touched by the hand of Christ. We got stigmata.
Stigmata.
Yeah, so they basically
Oh God, Joe is gone. Oh my God, Joe, we lost Joe.
Stigmata and the radishes. Yeah, there we go.
But yo,
Oh,
guys,
okay.
did you guys notice that like it became a big deal this week also on a lighter side that like the mainstream media finally noticed that like Tulsi Gabbard was in a cult when we already knew that during the
We've
primaries
known
in
that.
2019?
We've known that since she started running for president. The fact is that they just dragged it up again for what X number of reasons, and it could be, in fact, uh, a right wing vindictiveness that went at it because essentially she's always been a tool of her cult leader. I mean that was being discussed years ago.
The funniest thing
in a
ever.
house in Hawaii. No,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That guy has he's a cult leader. The funniest thing about this story was that her father was like his water bearer, literally the guy who got him water, and he got fired and he still stayed in the cult. This is before Tulsi was born. Like
Wow,
I thought that was so funny. It's crazy.
weird. Well, and I'd forgotten that it was an offshoot of the Hare Krishna, so it has this whole other thing going on
Yeah,
that's
so
part of
Huh.
its history.
yeah, so
Hmm.
I asked my Indian cousins about this, and so what it is like there's this underpinning of like, the Modi movement, the
Mm,
Hindu nationalist movement, that it's
mm,
called
Hindu,
Hindutva.
Hindu, yeah.
Yeah. And this is a marriage of like the Hare Krishna with the Hindutva.
mm,
The like sort of
Oh,
mm.
it's very weird. Like I'm not gonna get into like
so
it's so
so
foreign to me. Like I like guys, like every state in India is a different country. It's
so
just
does
that
that
like I have
mean you
Well,
no
have
it's
connection to
no
it.
does that mean
different
you
in the
have
U.S.
to does that mean you have to pay for your vegetarian meals at the temple?
I don't know. I eat meat. And when like I'm not religious at all. I'm just like I'm just completely normal. But when you go to the Gurdwara, everything's free.
But
I've
But
for
been
but
their
this is like
cult.
this is some weird. This is no. This is some weird like uh. I think it only honestly like exists in America. This sort of like offset of like Hare Krishnaism and Hindutva. And I honestly think that like all of these people, like I constantly like mock any like person of Indian origin who makes a conservative point as a collaborator and always say that like they would be 100 years ago they'd be a mouthpiece for the British Empire, shut the fuck up, and they never post again mostly. But 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 in this case, and I think the same is true for Kash Patel, Vivek Ramaswamy, not that they're in the same cult, but they all
Mhm.
believe that same Hinduta idea of a nation should be pure. Like
Right,
Hindutva
right.
means that like a nation, the guy who killed, it was banned in India. The guy who killed Mahatma Gandhi was Hindutva. You know what I mean? It was banned in
Mm,
India, but it grew again. Like we forget. Like we forgot about the New Deal. We deregulated everything. Same thing happens
right.
everywhere. Um, so in essence, I think all of these guys, Patel, even Nikki Haley's just sick, like ethnically, just like me. It's so embarrassing that a Jutsic would become conservative. But they're all over the place. They're in England, they're everywhere. I think these people, I think what happens when you grow up, they're older than me, but I think what happens, and I only experienced a little, to my eternal shame, I was light skinned and good looking, right? So I experienced very little racism compared to
Mm,
people who are darker than me, right?
You pass.
Um, but I think growing up in that racist kind of environment, especially like before me, like mine was bad, but I'm sure like it was horrific before, warps your mind to the point
mm.
where you have to actually you sort of like I don't know, submit to your oppressor's will if that makes sense. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you
No, no,
give in.
absolutely.
And I think that's what's going on with these people. I think Vivek and guys like Vivek and Cash are just straight collaborators. Like they would collaborate with anyone, anywhere. I think it's a little more complicated with Tulsi and Nikki Haley. But yeah, don't trust these people. Like, I'm trying. I'm going to I have a surprise for you guys. But I'm going to try to get DL Hughley to come on. This is a
Cool.
long conversation. I want to. I'm starting live streaming, so I want you guys, if it's cool with you, that we can do this on my stream as well. this weekly conversation. Just
Yeah, yeah,
broadcast our
absolutely.
space will remain our space. But
But is you using
t
Twitch for that
t yeah,
as the main?
I'm doing everything. Uh,
Yeah.
but TikTok especially. Yo, my TikTok peeps
Ah,
are like fanatically left. So you guys will love them. Um, but I think there's um a correlation to be drawn between anyone of any ethnicity, even like Norwegian, that has moved to North America and become conservative because something about the society has fundamentally warped their mind.
mm.
Because,
Well, you
yeah,
you can see that that's built in and when you look at American history and stuff, this fits into certain 19th century things about American republicanism. And it evolved from religious tolerance. That is, they were tolerant of more intolerant religions. So that's why you have this kind of Calvinist thing that goes all the way up to Hillsdale College or whatever, and it's all there's this undercurrent of crazy people who
yeah,
they just create parallel universe.
yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think, like, this week they've been talking, especially libs have been talking about, like, oh no, Trump is going to launch a second, or sorry, a third Red Scare. Well, Red Scare 2 never ended, number one. And
Indeed,
also,
indeed.
they have no fuel. Social media has,
Oh yeah, yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like, even though they bought TikTok, it doesn't matter. There's like
No,
the rabbit is out of
people
the hat.
work
I don't know what the
around it.
analogy is.
Everyone's working around. There's lots of bypassing going on, and Gen Z knows what to do. I mean, I wouldn't even pretend to know how they work around stuff, but they
You
are.
and me both. I have no idea. But the point is, like, they like, people don't aren't buying anything that they're selling these days. Notice
Mm.
this week the pushback from for, like, Zoran and endorsed and DSA endorsed candidates who have been like
Oh yeah. Well, that's
sweeping
all.
the country. And like, what,
Well,
James Carville was like, I'm leaving the Democratic Party. Like, fuck off. Who gives a shit? Why are
oh,
you in the Democratic Party? Who the fuck wants to hear what you want to say?
oh,
Left
Jesus,
me.
God damn it. I mean, you know, I hate to say that Carville's a flash in the pan because occasionally he says something really outrageous and interesting. But for the most part, he represents an entire reactionary element, all the neoliberal centrists in the party. And he comes up with weird stuff occasionally that, unfortunately, mainstream media gives him a little bit of, airtime for.
Not a little
And
bit.
or maybe
Like,
too
he's
too
like their
much. Well,
Yoda.
yeah. Yes, they do treat him like Yoda, which is really scary.
Yeah, and Yoda was handsome. This guy looks like, yo, you guys watch Silicon Valley? One of the actors, look it up, okay? I wish I had it for you. But one of the main actors from Silicon Valley put out the most epic TikTok cutting James Carville's rejection of Zora Mandani this week. Um, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'll find it. I'll find it, and I'll get it for you. But before you watch your next Silicon Valley episode, watch that. It's so beautiful because he literally, like, just decimates his entire argument. Because, I mean, what the hell? When was, like, and politically, Joe, politically, when was Carville relevant? Bill Clinton hasn't been president since 99.
Right. No, Carville has not been relevant. I mean, they just drag him out there because they, of all Mary Matlin and there's a certain weird romanticism that it generated its entire genre of
Right.
political operatives who have, who hook up.
Right,
and
right.
you
I
know,
think their marriage served the notion that bipartisanism still exists.
right.
And it never did.
Yes.
And he has
No.
done more damage to democracy by maintaining that fallacy and getting paid for it than anyone
Yes.
else. So
Are
you
you
gotta,
are you
you
saying
got, I can't repeat what that guy said because it's so good. But he like,
are you,
yeah, the way he talks about him, like, I mean, like you have to do it. I can't insult him better. I cannot.
are you saying the emulsion of the left and right of the Democratic Party are not sticking together as much as they might be able to?
I think what the essence of what he was saying, in Whisk, I think the essence of what he was saying is that James Carville, in that emulsification, is the one sperm that can't swim through it.
Indeed. Uh, the problem, though, and this is the current, I think, position relative to mainstream media, even on, MS Now, is that they're, you know, uh, it's too early, but they're still doing it. That is that DSA, is supposed to be very coherent. DSA is not coherent. I
Not at
mean,
all.
they're misreading what the New York region's DSA does, and it's really different than what DSA does elsewhere. And it has
Precisely, like
all
in
of these
Colorado, it's completely
fractures.
different. Precise,
It,
like
it
case in
it's not
point.
the same.
And that's what I think the DSA's strength is, that they
Oh yeah,
cannot be defined. And the Red Scare
yes, they're like
tactics
Antifa
given,
in that sense.
yeah, but like given the ICE tactics and the over brutality and the corruption and everything that has been on display for the last year, it doesn't work. You can't do another Red Scare now. Like it's too late.
Oh, it was always a cliche. I mean, it's been a cliche, well, since the end of HUAC, the House Un-American Activities Committee. I mean, truly, it just got warped after that, and using it as the enemy just has never worked very well. Now, on the other hand, the military was very committed to anti-communism of some kind, but then that got all screwed up in 1991. So, and trying to make China the bad guy is not very good when you consider they don't really care. I mean, they have enough weapons nuclear weapons to defend themselves, but they're not going to go out and bomb anybody. They don't really care about that. It is about, sort of the hermit kingdom again, except in the 21st century.
Nate
Anyway,
just brought up a point we should actually talk about. What have you heard about the latest on the protests and the arrests around ICE detention centers this week? Because we did have
oh, I
that
haven't seen.
ruling in
Sorry, I
Texas
haven't.
where those,
Oh, yes, that's true.
yeah, where those protesters, most of whom are like completely innocent, and I truly believe will win on appeal when it goes to a higher
Yes,
court, um have been like they've been given serial killer sentences.
yes.
Imagine
Yeah.
carrying pamphlets and getting 50 years. Like that's insane.
Oh, well, that story is so bizarre in its own context, and of course, it is kind of uh, hanging judge kind of Texas justice, which is really weird and strange and over the top. And yes, I agree with you. I think it will get overturned simply because it's so bizarre.
Yeah, and
The
absolutely
prosecution is
unjust.
constructed really bizarre.
Absolutely unjust. And I hope that judge realizes that, yeah, if they push us too far, judges will be hanged. Because, like, if you look at the general mood of the public, and I've never ever, and I'm sure all of you are experiencing this, like normies are outraged, like across the West. It's nuts. I've never experienced an environment like this, and the notion that the Democratic Party is pushing it back against DSA and pushing back against Gaza protesters or pushing back against people who are protesting outside ICE facilities because it's against the rule of law. Well, guess what? Western democracy is based on the idea that every government should be of, for, and by the people. All
Yeah, this
right?
all goes back to Boston Massacre stuff. That there are some rights, and that's kind of why this country is the way it is. Warts and all, protest is really a key element of what our country is. And attempts to be fascistic don't really quite work. I mean,
Yeah.
that there's some underlying left libertarian sort of conception of how democracy works in this country. And unfortunately, you have all these people warping it. That is, they claim that democratic socialists are communist. Well, they don't, people like Trump, they don't even know what communism is. So it's just this weird
They think the
construction of.
Democratic Party is leftist. Like that's how insane they are. That's how narrow their political spectrum is. The Democratic Party fundamentally is conservative. All right.
Oh, yeah,
The and
absolutely.
because of
Reactionary in
yeah,
certain elements, yes.
yeah, and because of third way politics, sorry as recline and your abundance bullshit.
Oh,
Third
Jesus.
way
They're
politics started
coming
in the
back.
90s, or it's actually in the late 80s with on Clinton before Clinton's campaign, the idea was third way. We'll ignore
Well,
the working class because they have nowhere to go, and we'll
yeah,
embrace
yeah,
Wall Street. And if you
right.
keep doing that and you can never go left, eventually what happens is what is happening now. You have moved so far, the center has moved so far to the right that the right is literally embracing fascism. And I'm not like being alarmist. I don't buy like all this
No, no.
normal bullshit. Right now it's kleptocracy. I'm worried about what comes next.
Oh, well, it, it, you have to assume that the government has always been kleptocratic, and that comes from going back to Reagan. And we're
For
at
sure.
that kind of weird third party moment, which did occur towards the end of the Reagan era. Um, so you could interpret the Tucker Carlson thing about third parties as a kind of, he'll find some common ground with these third way DLC Democrats, which is really scary and stupid, but that could happen.
Yeah, and always, guys, always call everyone who talks about the political horseshoe as valid an asshole and explain
Yes.
to them why. And I'll tell you why. The reason why they are assholes is the political horseshoe assumes that both sides recognize the same problems. Okay?
Mm.
Yes, we all want healthcare. Yes, we all want to tax billionaires. Yes, we all want to do all these kind of things. The horseshoe ignores class analysis, which means the solutions are completely different.
Yes.
Okay? They are utter assholes. And yes, I am talking about Anna Kasparian. And yes, I'm talking about Cenk Uygur. And I'm talking about all of them. And you can tell them that I said it. I don't give a fuck. Because I roll with Michael Brooks. So it's just a fact. These just because you recognize the same problems does not mean that it is the same solution. In the
Oh,
left,
no.
in the left, education, we'll be like build libraries, fund schools. On the right, it'll be like people who can't afford education should be made child laborers. You know what I mean?
Right.
They can't afford to pay for
Exactly.
private
That's
schools.
what they
They go to
want.
child. It's already happening.
No, it's about class, and then unfortunately it fractures onto race. So it's always an underclass thing. So it's just
It's
bizarre, I guess.
nonsense. It's nonsense. It's getting promoted by completely irresponsible people. Man, I think I miss Michael so much, but Michael kept all of these assholes in line. because they were
Yes.
terrified of him going after them. And it's just
Yes.
like there's no one like that anymore. And
Yes.
but like it, the thing is, though, where I find actual hope is in the normies who are suddenly like waking up and realizing that the promise I got told the other day by like this like complete Republican right-wing guy, like in the sense that he's like he's from Florida. I think I've told you about this
Mm.
guy, you guys about this guy before. He's from Florida. He's married to a Canadian woman. They couldn't go south last winter because his wife was terrified about getting,
Right,
sent
right. I
to
remember.
ICE
Yes.
prison. And he, for the first time, he said it so best. He's like, I miss capitalism because this isn't capitalism.
No,
This
no.
is an oligarchic kleptocracy.
Yep.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
it's Orban. It is a certain brand of, that tolerates capitalism, but it's really more feudal. It is oligarchy. It is warlordism. And that could happen to the United States. I mean, it's sad to say that, but the United States is big enough so that it could default to warlordism at some weird moment. Because
Yeah.
it sort of did at certain moments in the US history. Justice was not meted out uniformly. I mean, in cities, it tended to be more regular, but, frontier justice was out of control and it could come back.
Yeah. Well, so I was reading some comments that came up in the chat, apropos of what you're saying. The thing about Okay, so to understand the New Deal, the New Deal was not racially just by any metric. The New Deal was for white Americans, okay?
Yes.
But what the New Deal did and what the genius of FDR was to recognize that the only way to save capitalism from itself was to muzzle it with like
Yep.
severe regulation and allow for mass unionization.
Right.
Otherwise, America was either going to go communist or
Or
fascist.
fashion. And you can see that in the history. I mean, that's that whole point that, there are groups in the 30s or whatever who really fetishized, Nazism, and we're still there. I mean, it's just so weird to
Have you
see
seen the fair
essentially
at
the same idiots.
Do
Uh,
you not notice that
and yes, the fair,
the fair, like
the Great
the
American.
fair, the Great American Fair is the most Nazi-ass shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that
Because
arch, that model arch.
well,
I want to know what's going to happen to that sucker at the end in another week or two, because
it's
I wanted to
styrofoam,
go
man.
in it right in the location where the Trump wants that arch. I mean, I just want that photo op. But
They're
anyway,
gonna throw all of this shit in the Potomac. Let's be real. Like there's no money for like for any. It's all been stolen. Like have you did
yes,
guys have you guys seen like that like even the facades, they're just like wallpaper. There's no texture to anything of anywhere apart. Like
well, it's quick and dirty, and somebody's skimming a lot of money. I mean,
I would be
it's all a
surprised if
cash grab.
I
I was
was
always amused at the place down next to the Presidio in San Francisco that had the Pantheon. You know
right.
that spot? I can't remember the name of it. It was for the World's Fair of 1905 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, by Golden
Oh,
Gate
oh, yes,
Park.
the
Yeah,
Palace of
Yeah.
Fine Arts,
Palace
the
of Fine Arts. That's it.
Exploratorium.
So they have all these colonnaded walkways that lead into a replica of the Pantheon. And I
Mm.
was always amused at the chipping plaster and rebar coming
Oh,
out
yeah.
Roman columns and uh, Corinthian
No, no,
column
but that's
rebar.
No,
classic.
but that is
That's classic
That
for
magnificent.
took
World's
75
Fair.
years.
World's Fairs were like that in the late
Yeah.
19th century and early 20th century.
Yeah,
I
compared
mean,
to
that's kind of where Trump is. You know, he wants to build his arch out of concrete and only put stone on the facade. So it's really a cheat relative to actual, monumental construction. Anyway, we
no,
digress.
absolutely. Um, uh, sorry. Um, absolutely. The thing is that like this state fair, let's be real, $1 million at most it costs. The rest is all been grifted away by the Trump
Yes.
family and his friends.
Not
The
good.
the this entire like that's what I'm saying. Like there's no turning the page. If any Democratic candidate wins that is talking about turning the page and not putting all of these people and their shitty children in prison forever wins, then that is like ushering in of complete and utter fascism. Like what comes next will be fascistic. And you can see this mirrored in all austerity movements across the West. Austerity
Yes.
breeds fascism, and that's what it is.
Yep. Yep.
Joe, that
No
looks.
doubt. And
Oh, sorry, please.
but it also breeds a kind of imperialism too, because the next steps that are going to happen simply because it's just crazy Trumpism, he's going to want Greenland again. I don't think he's going to get Canada, but I think he's going to get Greenland. And whatever he's going to do in Cuba, either is going to be like Vietnam, and there'll be 10 years of insurgency and stupidity relative to Cuba, or,
I don't think he's
well,
gonna get
it could
Greenland.
all work out.
I don't think it's gonna happen because, like the
No, we got
Europeans,
enough troops to do it.
no, they absolutely could take it, but I think I'm not a fan of like Mark Carney, like the Canadian Prime Minister, but he does know how to play the bond
Mm,
market, and he has told European leaders how to play the bond market. Because
mm.
he's a banker, right? An
Hey,
elite level banker.
PhD economist. I mean,
Yeah,
an actual smart guy.
yeah, he's already exhibited to Trump that he could crash the US economy if he wanted to. Which is
Yes.
why, like, Trump doesn't like him. And I don't like him
Yep.
either, to be honest with you. But
No.
he has taught the Europeans, at least this way, that that's how to resist. And so I think this is the limit of how far he can go. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Like he might try to do like an invasion of Cuba or something stupid, or even an invasion of Greenland. Like I mean, at this point, nothing is impossible. I'd be an idiot to
Yes.
say anything is impossible. But to Professor Zhang it for a minute, I I predict
Oh,
You're,
Jesus,
you're,
that
uh
interview. Oh, man.
I predict that
you're-
like Greenland and Cuba won't get invaded because they are it, it- we've reached like the point of like imperial overreach
Yep.
with the
you're
Iran war.
Yep.
There
Yeah,
might
it
be
did demonstrate the limits of, American power got all screwed up because they launched too many damn missiles. They didn't have to, but they did. And so now we're screwed. If something happens in East Asia, we're in trouble. We're in serious trouble.
yeah, but okay,
oh, why
let's
are
be
we in
real.
trouble? Is it our business?
If China invades
Well,
Taiwan, I don't think we're gonna like I just don't think we're
no,
gonna
we're
do
not going to.
anything.
I mean, it'll be an interesting war, but you know, uh, it they're going to lose. I mean, Taiwan. Taiwan will get taken over, and some people, there'll be casualties, but I think it'll be relatively bloodless.
The problem that the defense, like the military industrial complex in the US has right now, is that if China were to, launch an invasion of Taiwan, the people advocating for war with China would be the exact same people who are advocating for the war in Gaza and Lebanon.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
would remove any credible threat because at this point, what is it? 80% of the population is against it. And
Yes.
not just in America, across the West.
Yes.
So I don't know. There's hope in that.
Ukraine has sort of taught people that that's just not a good. I mean, they're almost up to, a half. What is it? 450,000 casualties on the Russian side. Well, it's 1,000 casualties, but it's 450,000 deaths. On the Russian side now. That I
Prof,
think
I
that's
wanted
a
to ask you,
reasonable
Half a
analysis.
million?
especially this week.
Half a
Okay,
mil.
like it has been like completely like mind-numbing. I have no idea what the hell is going on in this war. Do you have like any kind of grasp on it because you study it so intensely? Like,
No,
because
it's
what
running
is happening?
it's running in several different directions. I mean, you have these sort of alternating massive drone strikes from both sides, but you have to remember, as I've said before, it's not like all 500 that they send are going to land. I mean, it's only, a 20% maybe that are going to get through. And I mean, it's bad. 20, 25 people got killed yesterday, but, and it is because target selection is different. The Russians will, attack civilian targets because they don't care. And the Ukrainians, they're very directed. They're not going to attack civilian targets. They're going to either assassinate people or they're going to hit all the refineries. So it's not, they're being quite selective. And the Ukrainians are on, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, the right side of history. Although you're beginning to see some shaking out of what's going on, because that guy who got blown up in Monaco, well, and that's
Right.
just interesting to me. I mean, he fled. He became a citizen of Cyprus. I mean, it's got all the, criminal stuff there. I mean, because Cyprus is how they do the money laundering. And anyway,
I mean, Cyprus only exists because of money laundering.
it's true. I mean, it was
For secular Israelis to go get married on.
Yeah,
oh
for
yeah,
sure.
there
They can also do that on Mykonos, I believe.
you go.
Joe, that looks magnificent.
Oh, thank you.
Yum.
Explain.
Oh, we've got baby leaf lettuces, a variety of different baby leaf lettuces from the garden with our really in bad shape radishes. Sorry to say.
Yo, had you not pointed that out, I wouldn't have noticed. So
we
stop
had
being so hard on
two good
yourself,
ones.
Joe.
Oh, it's all
I'll
right.
be hard on you on
Yeah,
mine.
it's just that the slugs will get in and then devour them, and then it's all over.
Yeah.
And I got some little bit of dill, a little bit of coriander and chives, and toasted some of my. It's not challah, but it's my. In Norway, we call it lørdagsloaf. On lørdag, which is Saturday, you can have white bread, and you can have a hard candy or a sweet. So you have
You heard it here,
lørdagsloaf.
guys. Joe is a Zionist. No, it's beautiful, Joe. I love it, man. Honestly.
Yum.
Oh, we got some nectarines in there as well. Nectarine, and it's this Japanese black vinegar, quite special.
Wonderful. Yo, forgive me, guys. I have to I keep getting text messages. I have the mechanic working on my air conditioner
Mm,
downstairs.
Right.
I have to leave
So,
now. I'll
no,
be back
no.
later. I'm just gonna shut off my video.
Yeah, yeah. See
Always a
ya.
see
pleasure, guys.
it.
Take
Love
care.
you.
Ciao. Ooh, they're very spicy.
Yum. Well, we're almost at the time for talking about the schedule. I don't know if John is here. John, do you want to talk about Alfred Hitchcock and salvage?
Yes, I yes, I do.
That's at the bottom of the hour.
It is. Can you hear me?
Oh, I didn't
Yes.
update the
Oh,
schedule.
okay. So, yes, the name of the episode is Salvage, and the summary is that gangster Dan Verrill, just released from prison, goes looking for the woman he holds responsible for his brother's death.
Mm.
Dun, dun, dun. And it stars Jean Barry, who we saw just a few episodes ago in Triggers in Leash. She was one of the cowboys that was facing off against Darren McGavin, but was saved.
Mm. Bat Masterson.
Hmm.
Yes.
Is this
And go ahead.
is it is this the bleach blonde ingenue?
Yeah,
Ah,
that's Nancy Gates. So that's who that is.
Oh,
Yes. And they also have Elijah Cook Jr., who is
oh.
probably well known to
Mm.
the how shall I say, the more mature among us.
oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were all adult children here.
I guess
Well,
the
it
better
goes
way to say
back to
it.
the noir,
Uh,
sort of stuff.
maybe that's just me hanging out at the skate park with the kids
Ah, there
asking
we
me.
go.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
I was at the skate. I was at the skate park this week with the other 10 year olds, and they're asking me how long you been skating. I'm like, oh Lord, I
Good
started
Lord.
skating when you, and as old as you are now.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. So yes, that's what we have for tonight.
Not clear what we're going to have after that. I don't know if Travis has something in mind.
No,
I
he's
know
busy, so nothing
that's right.
happening. Yeah.
5 o'clock on Saturday. Is it going to be the New Statesman? Oh, yes, Batard, right? Or is Lane here? Lane is not here, I think. Yes, I don't see him in the participants. So anyway, I think we're getting Batard, but then again, our friends up north, however, I care, the the Shorty program is going to be on at some moment. We were gifted it last night, blessed with it last night. Not everyone get to see it, but it really is a really interesting way in which Brits look at various regionalisms. Not so dissimilar from the big marriage that's going on right now with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. That there's this whole other thing going on that appeals to a whole different region. But anyway,
Well, Nate had a
7
question
o'clock is
or
going to
raised the
be.
hand.
Oh, carry on.
Nate,
Only
Yes.
to just say, our friends in the north, if you're at all interested, come. It's also about the transition from labor to new labor.
Yes.
And the other thing that I find real interesting is the way in which at least the 60s, and I assume even just based on Lane himself, British youth were really into and interested in and engaged with the civil rights movement in the US and other things. It's a good show.
Yes, I think it's very smart about whole bunches of things. Um, and it has really interesting uh stars, characters. I mean, a whole bunch of people who became really famous later on are in this program. So um there's that. Saturday night, I don't know, Susanna, do you want to talk about Saturday night? Not sure.
Yeah, hi, Anley.
Yep.
I do believe Travis is going to show Apocalypse Now. I
Oh,
think it's
right,
the
right.
Travis
We
night.
had
Yes.
this we were talking about this before because we had this, conversation about the difference between the director's cut and the original, and can't get the director's cut anyway, so we're going to watch the original, which is fine. It looks a certain way, and it truly is the result of the suits suddenly deciding what it was going to look like, and a couple of sort of well, with all due respect, capitulating. But anyway, it's it still was good. It's still excellent. So we'll watch that on Saturday night. Sunday at 5, Star Trek: The Next Generation watch party. John.
Yes. So the name of this episode is Clues, and um, as
Clues.
yes, the crew is trying to figure out what happened to them.
Oh, yes, this is an excellent episode. And in fact, it's very Twilight Zone like. I mean,
Y-
wouldn't you say,
I
John?
would, yeah,
It
I
has a
would.
Twilight Zone kind of structure to it.
Yes, yes. Effects of passing through a wormhole give the Enterprise crew a sense that they were unconscious for more than the 30 seconds they had been led to believe. And as guest stars, we have Cole Meany, Pamela Winslow Kashani, Rhonda Aldrich, Whoopi Goldberg, and Patty uh, Yasutaki. Yes, it is a very good episode.
After that will be, I guess, our friends up north or whatever. I can't recall. That's just typical to me not to remember. But Lane will grace us with that. I may even get a decent computer to watch, to listen to the actual soundtrack. But so on Monday at 8 p.m. is Nate. And and I don't know what you want to talk about this, Nate, but we're in Palo Alto. It really is getting interesting. I mean, last week was, and this will just excite some people, hopefully, to show up. Coffee and cocaine were part of the menu last week. So,
Yeah, and yes, they were, and also kind of nuances of criminalizing protest and civil disobedience that
mm,
relate to the Texas case uh, against ICE, the
yes.
protesters against ICE. In some ways, these last few chapters and sections are not quite as interesting because so many more of us have lived through them. So there's not so many
Mm.
surprises. But I'm very curious to see where it ends up. I never did read it all the way through. And to me, it's very much, well, at least, who knows what's real, but I feel like it's helping me reckon with this current moment we're in, which,
Yes.
along with some others, I mean, for me, I don't know, I'm just, at times, this has almost broke me, the moment we're in. But anyway, yeah, I do feel like it tells a story that leads us here. And after we're done reading it, I'm going to be looking for things that are looking at stuff the same way, to continue on.
Well, yeah, it's quite an odyssey, this book. I know we've been sort of plowing through it at a certain pace, but for me, it fills in lots of little gaps of, well, I had to live through this, but now I realize there's all this other crap that was going on simultaneously, which on the one hand is disturbing. On the other hand, that's just history. So I appreciate the kind of breadth that Harris gives. And I know that it's problematic, though he comes to some weird conclusions at various moments. And, I think he strays from certain points, but otherwise, the more details are interesting to me. But they're kind of, strange minutia that are amusing to me. John Rawls's manuscript for a theory of justice getting wet, these are things that are interesting to me. Anyway, the funny hour comes after that at 9 p.m. on Tuesday, and I think Bruce is here. Red hour.
Yes.
Red hour.
We're going to
6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern.
Yes, we're going to attempt to. I had technical difficulties last week, so we'll attempt to do Joyce Carol Oates this week again. Short story called "We Were Worried About You." There's a lot to talk about with this little story. So we'll be presenting the Red Hour at, like you said, 6 Central, 7 Eastern.
Absolutely. And of course, there'll be other things. Good news, everyone, with John, Professor John.
Wait, you can't take that title as accurate.
What? There's good news? No.
Can't take it literally.
On Wednesday at 6, I do my little thing, and I didn't even get to some elements of my discussion of layer cake. And by the time we get to that Wednesday, I will probably be discussing something related. Well, let's just put it this way. The word quantum is going to come back. Anyway, so that's on Wednesday at 6 o'clock Eastern. And Thursday, news gets brought at 7 o'clock. And and then we're back at Friday, which is where we are now. And we're getting close to the end here with Alfred Hitchcock at the bottom of the hour in 13 or so minutes. So we'll try and do better next week.
See y'all.
Wow.